What's shaking, cocktail fans? I'm Modern Bar Cart CEO Eric Kozlik. It's my job to hit the road and seek out the best and brightest minds in the spirits and cocktail world so that I can share their secrets with you. This time around, we head to McClintock Distilling in Frederick, Maryland, where I interview 5 bartenders ahead of an epic bartender battle that would test their creativity, technique, and resolve. Let's hear what they have to say. It was a chilly, wet December day when I arrived at McClintock Distilling in Frederick, Maryland, to prepare for an ambitious cocktail competition called the Holiday Bar Room Blitz. McClintock would play host to 5 of the region's best bartenders and over 150 guests, and I would be the MC directing the festivities. Before the chaos ensued, I was able to pull up a seat and interview each of the amazing bartenders involved. These are some of the highlights of our conversations.
I actually did a split base between the Garner's Gin and the Epiphany Vodka, a little Vesper trick to tone down a little bit of the gin just so it wasn't super overpowering. Then I made a carrot ginger syrup, so instead of using water for my simple syrup, I subbed it out with carrot juice. And then I did tone that sugar down just a little bit just because of the natural sugars. I didn't want it to be cloyingly sweet. I didn't want it to be a rich simple. So and then some lemon juice. So when I'm building the cocktail, it's very close to a traditional bee's knees measurement. So it's an ounce each of the Garner's Gin and the Epiphany Vodka, and then about a half ounce of the carrot ginger syrup, and then about a quarter ounce of the lemon juice.
Tonight I have a wolf mule, which is why I'm dressed in a wolf pelt, and I have antlers on the table.
Yeah, you look like you slew some animals on the way here.
I didn't
no animals
slay
were harmed.
Any animals. No, this is given to me as a gift.
Yeah.
But it's ginger beer with the cognac aged gin, and then the spice pear cordial.
Yeah.
I'm pouring a little bit of prickly pear simple syrup into it, and then I'm garnishing it with pickled ginger.
Ooh.
Which is going to replicate. I'm telling the story of like Fenrir and Odin. So the pickled ginger is like the scraps of Odin's flesh, like at Ragnarok, where Fenrir like tears Odin apart after he breaks free of the chains that the god Tyr put him in. So it's like the wolf mule, and then I'm donating to the Wolf Conservation Center. So it's all a story.
Oh, that is such a tight narrative. And again, you know, like it's just like that chili hot chocolate drink you just described, because you've got the pickled ginger, which is kind of spicy and
I like spice
and feisty.
Yeah.
But then you did probably like one of the most intelligent moves to pair that with, which is that prickly pear syrup, which is super mellow.
Right. Well, the
Super
sweetness
mellow.
cuts the spice of the ginger just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It also is symbolic of the blood.
Right. It's very pink.
I suppose, the way I go about it is I want to make the customer happy.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like, what kind of base spirit do you like? What kind of citrus do you care for? Well, I'm going to throw something weird in there, and you're most likely going to enjoy this. And if you don't, well, let's try again from the ground zero.
Sure.
So I guess I like to cater to the people.
It seems like a very comforting experience, like you take the risk out of it almost.
Yeah, and a lot of people, especially people that are used to, just whiskey and ginger, that's the thing. A Negroni can be very intimidating, but, I'm going to tell you, Campari it's bitter, but it's also sweet.
If I had to define my style, I'd say, if one word, hospitality. I try to give the guests what they want. Probably more than half the drinks I make are a bartender's choice, which is just ask the guests, what do you like? Do you like citrus? Do you like spice, sour, tropical, whatever? And go from there.
Nice. Now, I imagine that gets complicated. Do you have any little tricks of the trade for somebody who maybe doesn't know what they like or is maybe a little bit nervous going into a bartender's choice situation?
Well, I've gotten pretty good at it over time. I can sort of guess or, figure out if they're actually saying they like everything, and a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
So, start off with lighter spirits, vodka, gin, keep it simple, just a well-balanced drink. And usually by the second drink, you can get a feel for whether or not they want to take it any further.
I love whiskey and I love gin, both equally.
The two best cocktail spirits.
They're amazing. Bourbon specifically, I like the nuances of the smoothness and kind of the sweet caramelly kind of things going on in a good bourbon. And I really enjoy gin. Tonight I'm playing with Forager gin. It's got that nice sort of fennel note in it.
I love it.
So fennel kind of reminds me of, you're going into like the anise flavors and the holiday mulling spices. So I've added a little bit of black walnut bitters in there. I've got the orange bitters in there. And we've got fresh squeezed grapefruit juice
I love it.
to kind of brighten it all up, a little bit of pomegranate in there. And you'll start to see that the flavors, the way that the gin plays with everything else in there, it almost tastes like, okay, this is going to sound bad, the punch you maybe drink when you were a child. Hopefully not with gin in it, though. But, it's going to have a nice frothy aquafabas in there. So it gives it this nice frothy
texture,
dreamy. So it reminds you of the punch. Well, maybe they put the sherbet on top and it gets really... that really cool, like, foamy head on it.
Yes.
So we're going to drop a little bitters on top of that to give it a nice aroma. The bubbles will push that right into your nose. It's going to smell and taste amazing.
To hear the full episode detailing this cocktail competition, check out episode 132 of the Modern Bar Cart podcast. You can subscribe for free wherever you go to download podcasts. Thanks for watching.